From the campus of American University, you're watching the Patriot League on Stadium. Today, the Bucknell Bison look for a record-setting win in Patriot League play. They're on the road to take on the American Eagles. A look at the standings, and Bucknell are kings again. The 7th time in 8 years they've won it outright in the regular season. Colgate is your number 2, meaning they don't have to play until the quarterfinals. In the bottom half of the standings, American knows they will finish in 10th. But any of the teams ahead of them in this graphic could end up seeing them in the opening round of the Patriot League tournament, which begins on Tuesday. And with all that said, we welcome you to Bender Arena. That's Dan Laing, Mike Watts alongside. So if we know that Bucknell's number 1, and we know American's number 10, and we know that American went to Lewisburg in December and lost by 29, where's the hope for the Eagles today?
Well, there's a lot of hope. First of all, the Eagles are a young team. No seniors on this squad, so there's been a lot of growth since then. And also, Saeed Nelson didn't play in that game. He had a hand injury. He leads the Patriot League in minutes, and he's the team's leading scorer. So obviously, playing without him was a big issue.
Certainly a big void that they hope is not only filled in this game, but they hope they can make Bucknell sweat a little bit. They're looking for their 16th win of Patriot League play, and they've had a phenomenal season. This is a group, a senior class specifically, that has broken through every expectation for the Bison.
Yeah, it's been really phenomenal what they have been able to do since getting on campus at Lewisburg. And you look at just how they've just controlled the Patriot League each of those 4 years, as you can see on your screen there, and the fact that they have 3 1,000-point scorers just doing a lot, including Zach Thomas, who's doing a lot of everything.
Yeah, Nana Frontland was the Patriot League Player of the Year last year. I think Zach Thomas might take that throne.
Yeah, you look at Zach Thomas, he leads the Patriot League in scoring right now. He also leads the Patriot League in rebounding, so he is definitely a force to be reckoned with.
And he's going to be a lot of trouble for Sam Iorio. He's one of the big reasons that American is optimistic looking forward.
He is, and he's going to be a big piece to this Eagles puzzle moving forward. You look at Sam, he's a freshman, he comes in. He was not playing the 5 when these teams first met back in December, and now he is. And he's been playing it for a while. He's had a chance to grow in that role. We'll see how he does today, but he's definitely a big piece.
So when you think about the Patriot League tournament, it's just a few short days away. Bucknell has won this as the number 1 seed twice in the last 5 years. But let's not forget Holy Cross last year. This is anybody's tournament, Dan.
Well, it is, and that's what makes the Patriot League so fun. The chance to come in, pull off a couple of upsets, and make a little noise. Of course, Bucknell hopes that doesn't happen. The Eagles hope that does.
So the Eagles are looking for some chaos for Bucknell. They're trying to continue what's been a record-breaking season. The Bison and the Eagles are coming up next on Stadium. A great crowd on hand tonight for Patriot League basketball. It's Founders Day at AU, but the team hasn't really found their stroke yet. It's a 16-point deficit as halftime continues. We welcome you back. Dan Laing alongside Mike Watts. Well, the Patriot League tournament's just a couple days away. Starts on Tuesday.
Indeed.
Bucknell is clearly your favorite.
Yes.
Has to be.
Right.
Give me a few dark horses.
So you look and you can look at Colgate, which right now is struggling in their game, but they're a team that's won a couple in a row. They're in second. You look at the hottest team in the league, and while Bucknell is clearly atop the division and the standings, you look at a team like Lehigh. They've won 7 straight entering play today, and they have Karan Ross. And any team that has Karan Ross on it, talk about orchestrating, knowing what to do, you can't really look against Lehigh. Of course, the Mountain Hawks play later on tonight, so we don't really have much to go on for them right now, but when you look at that and you look at, postseason, it's all about momentum and streaks. They've won 7 in a row entering play today.
Boston U, who American has beaten not once this year, but twice, up 12 at the half against Army. Navy, a 6-point lead over Loyola. Navy coming off that loss to Bucknell in Lewisburg, and then that halftime score, Colgate, 12 points. That first half, that's got to make you a little bit nervous.
Yes, a lot nervous. I mean, that's 34 points there total in that game at halftime. Wow. I mean, talking about playing to the pace of Holy Cross, even though Colgate doesn't necessarily play up tempo, they play a little bit faster than Holy Cross, but neither team there really feeling much of a stroke, so to speak, right?
No. 34 points in that game, 36 points so far for Bucknell. When we come back, we'll take a look at your highlights and stats from the opening half. Happy Founders Day, everybody. Back from Bender Arena with more after this timeout. It's Bucknell by 16 at the half. Bucknell, a 38-22 lead over American. They're really ruining what's a bit of a holiday on campus here in the District of Columbia, Founders Day. As we welcome you back to Bender Arena, Dan Laing alongside Mike Watson. In that opening half, it was 16-16, and then something went horribly awry for American. What did not go right?
Well, I think a lot of things. I think one thing you look at is, Bucknell just really utilized their experience, utilized their size, utilized their speed, and one that really outpaces the rebounding. 24-9, the Bison have out-rebounded the Eagles, and that has hurt. Turnovers, you mentioned, we were talking about a little bit, but the Eagles have only been able to turn 7 of the 6 turnovers into points, or into 7 points. So that's not really that big, and it's only a 3-point difference there in points off turnovers, but it's been kind of interesting.
Let's take a look at first half highlights, because some of this we can't tell you with only the numbers. And early on, we saw shades of positive offense from American.
Well, indeed, and early on you had Nelson get the 3, then you had Iorio here, you have Sestina driving, he also hit a deep 3, which you can see there, and then you see Fowlins, and he actually looked a little miffed as he went into the half. Not sure exactly what that was about, because he had a pretty good first half, but there you have him, and now you look at the stats, and a couple of them that we were looking at and pointing out, the rebounding, the turnovers, but 6 turnovers by the Bison, only leading to 7 Eagles points.
And just 9 3-point attempts from the American team that shoots the ball from the outside a lot. And they're hoping to shoot the lights out here at Bender Arena in the second half. If they're going to make the big comeback, it's a 38-22 advantage for the Bison of Bucknell, the #1 seed, the reigning champions, taking the second half on after this. How about Nana Fowlin so far for Bucknell?
He's been outstanding. He's been a headliner, and he's been able to do a little bit of everything there, dishing it away, and here, able to score it. We'll move us to a break as Saeed Nelson looks to make his presence felt, making his move from New Jersey to the bucket.
Tipped out. This is Becton Jr.
From Daytona Beach, Florida, able to make the move there. Knew he had the space, and with the crowd here, one of the larger crowds of the year, able to make the emphatic dunk.
Elsewhere and done very well. This is his chance to lead a program, and he's got 1 championship, another final, and next year he thinks this will be a big stepping stone.
Well, indeed, and he played for Hall of Fame coach Pete Carrill, and that's pretty cool, pretty impressive. And Coach Carrill in the past has come down and actually come to practice sometimes and has watched and been a part and sort of spoken to the guys, and that's always neat to have a guy of that impact do that.
How about Tom?
He'd been held silent until then. Calling for the basketball from Nelson and going up strong. There you have Jones, who was taken to task on that play.